I'm Steven from Just Got Played, and that is Erock, and that is Lloyd, and that is Tiffany, and we are here to tell you about the top game that we played in February of 2022. So this isn't necessarily a game that is new to us. It's just the best game we played in the last month. All right, so let's get started with Lloyd. What have you got for us?
So I played this many games, maybe 3. So I have a very small list to choose from. But the one that I played the most that I actually enjoyed was Qwirkle Rummy. So I don't know if you've ever played Qwirkle, but it's a game like dominoes with you have 6 colors and 6 shapes, and you're making runs and shapes or colors, right? And then I don't know if you played Rummy Cube, which it's basically rummy with dominoes, and you put them on the table, and then you can make sets and runs, and you're mixing and matching. And the biggest problem with that game is that it takes freaking forever for it to go. And it's like one of those old timey games where you had nothing else better to do with 8 hours in the day. So you did that, and it's more an activity. And I can't stand it because when someone messes up the board, then it takes 20 minutes for them to put it back together.
Hold on, let me rearrange everything. Hold on.
Exactly.
Oh, that's not right.
So what the Qwirkle Rummy does, it takes the simplicity of Qwirkle, puts it into a deck of cards, and then you can do the kind of Rummy Cube thing. So you're still collecting sets of colors and shapes, but instead of having points based on how many you put down, you only get points for collecting a Qwirkle. So you're always moving stuff around, and it's real easy to move it around and not get lost. As long as you have 3 in a set, you can leave it, but you don't have to worry about getting the right numbers in the right order with the right colors. So it's super quick. It's just a small deck of cards. The game costs like $6 at Target. And it scratched the itch for my wife to play Rummy Cube, and I didn't have to spend 4 hours playing a game that I wanted to kill myself in. So,
hey, now I know what to get my mom for Christmas.
It's very quick. It's very simple. I taught it to another person, and we played a three hand game. And it does actually change the strategy a little bit with a third player, because that kind of anchor person, you don't want to set them up. So instead of dumping your hand every turn to get new cards, you kind of want to hold on to it and let them set you up. So there's a little bit more strategy, which I learned in the first one whenever we got destroyed by the new player because she was in third position and just kept, oh, thanks for putting 5 cards out. I have this one. Whoop, another book for me. So it was a quick, fun game. And like I said, you can play several of them in, 20 minutes. So that's my top pick for February. We're February, right? Qwirkle Rummy.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. That's a good one. I really seriously probably will get that as a gift for my parents, because we grew up playing Rummy Cub, but haven't played it, or Rummy Cube as we call it, I guess, but haven't played it in a while because for all the reasons you said, I haven't played it with them. Yeah.
So real quick, I know another group of people that play Rummy Cub, Rummy Cube, whatever the hell it's called, and they have.
It had better be Rummy Cube. I'm just saying, because Rummy Cub sounds terrible.
But they put a timer in, and if you can't fix the board within that time limit, you have to take everything you messed up into your hand. So it kind of discourages people from sitting there for a half an hour trying to rearrange stuff. So that might make it back to the table if I play with those rules, but I'll just play this game instead. It's much faster.
Is that an official variant or like a house rule?
I think that was their house rule because they had the same complaints about the game that I did, which is somebody messes the board up and then spends the next 20 minutes trying to put everything back together the way it was.
Interesting. Nice.
So,
I think at the end of this video, you need to edit in a drunken bear cub, a Rummy Cub, because Erock likes to promise live bears. So
live bears next time.
Nice. Well, so I played a few games, but it was really down to 2 when I was trying to pick my favorite for February. And so I'll just give a brief nod to Zularetto because somebody on BGG made a Pokemon version of it. So I'm playing it with my kids, want to play it because you're get off the trucks, you're getting little Pokemon creatures instead of getting the animals to put in your zoo. So I just wanted to mention that. That's out there. Go find that if that sounds good to you. But the game that I would say was my best play from this month is Kingsburg. So I played it one time. I really like it. I think it's the kind of game that might end up in my top 100 if I got to play it a few more times. And I played it with the expansion to Forge a Realm. Well, part of the expansion anyway. The expansion is modular. There's like 5 or 6 modules in there, and we had 2 of them. And if you get the second edition, it comes with all the modules in it. But it's a worker placement game, but the workers are dice. So at the beginning of there are 3 different productive seasons in a year, and there are 5 years in the game. And so at the beginning of a productive season, you roll your 3 dice, and then you decide how you're going to use those dice to influence these different people on the board. So, if you want to just take your 1 die and put it on the 1, you could do that. But if you want to, if you rolled 2 6s, you could combine those into a 12 and put it up on the 12 space, right? And so, and there are other ways to modify your dice. And each space that you put them on does different things, and there's a lot of things going on. But when you take that space, it goes around, and somebody else now can place, and somebody else can place, but those are blocked, right? So you're looking around like, oh, nobody else has a 1. I can just save my 1 to place it on the 1 at the end or something, unless somebody has some power they've unlocked to do that. Because you build these buildings, which give you benefits. And at the end of every year, there's like a war. There's an event card that you have to fight. And if you deal with it, you get points or rewards or whatever. But if you don't deal with it, it's pretty bad. And that has a luck-based component to it as well. The expansion has a way to make it less, to make it not lucky and luck-driven at all. But the base game, it's got luck. So it's, sort of that cutthroat worker placement, but there's randomness of the dice, so you never know what you're going to have. I mean, one time I rolled a 3-2-1 on my 3 dice, and I'm looking at it like, this is garbage. But I actually managed to get the 1, 2, and 3 space, which gave me like a gold, a wood, and a victory point, which really wasn't that bad. I mean, like, oh, okay. I didn't feel like I was out of the game because I had a bad roll or something, But yeah, cutthroat, worker placement, dice rolling. I mean, it's just got a lot of stuff going for it. It didn't play particularly long either. From the expansion, we played with the in your personal area where you're building the buildings that give you benefits and points. It's one of the main ways to get points. We played with the expansion board that had 7 rows of buildings instead of 5. And we also played with, there's a set of cards where everybody got like 3 cards, and you chose a asymmetric power from the beginning of the game. So those were the 2 things we played from the expansion. And the other interesting thing about this game, which you don't see as much anymore in games that have victory points, is like all the points are earned in the game. It's not like end of the game, now everybody, what were your special points? What are these points worth? What is that added up? I mean, you see right there on the track, like who's getting points. When you build a building, you get the points. When you put influence on a certain player, you get the points. When you beat the bad ogres or goblins or whatever it is at the end of each round that you have to beat, you get the points. So, I found that actually kind of refreshing instead of just, well, who won the game? I have no idea. Let's add it up,
Did you play the newer version of this?
No, I had the old one with the expansion. So.
Okay.
But I think it's basically the same. Yeah, it's from maybe 2012. It's new to me because I got it at the Game Exchange from the Dice Tower Retreat. It was on the table.
Okay.
And so we just finally got it to the table this month.
This is like the first generation of that using the dice in different ways kind of idea.
Yeah, dice worker placement is, you see that plenty now back in 2012.
Now, yeah. But this was really the birth of all that.
Yeah.
So.
Solid game. Have any of you played it?
Yeah, I played it. It's a pretty good game. I think, I don't know how to say this. I feel like maybe.
But Steve's an idiot.
No, not at all. I think it's a good game. I just think that I didn't play it back in the day. I played it way more recently. So in my mind, I'm comparing it to other things like Alien Frontiers and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but it's pretty basic. Yeah, because it's basic. It was the first version of all this stuff. So not at all do I think it's a bad game. I think it's a really good game. I just have other things I'd rather play. Oh. But I don't criticize you at all. If you don't mind, I'm going to hijack you because I'm actually going to choose Dominion for mine. So I'm like in the same boat here, really. I actually had a ton of Dominion a long time ago. I had like the base game and like 4 or 5 of the expansions or whatever. And we played a ton back in the day. And then we just never played anymore. So I actually sold the whole collection to somebody at one of the dice towers or whatever. And then our friend David picked it up, and we were over at his house and we played with Jacoby. And Jacoby's like, "You should really get this." I'm like, "I had all this." You know, we ended up getting it for him for Christmas, so we just played it. You know, so you know, he enjoys it. He's a big deck builder fan. Dominion's awesome. I mean, you're probably going to say the same thing that I said about Kingsburg. You know, there's just so many better, more viable options right now. But I get that. But man, Dominion's just so good. It's just like the bare bones. This is how you make a deck builder. It was like the birth of the whole thing. I'm not saying it was the first one. Somebody's probably going to chime in here with some German or Japanese game and say, "Oh, it was the first one." But I'm saying this was really the birth of that whole deck builder, you know, and it brings back a whole lot of nostalgia, and it's just a really good game on top of all that. It's just so streamlined, you know, which is kind of the point, you know, because that was and then everything built off of that. Now you have like these multi-complicated layered clanks and Dune Imperiums and Lost Ruins of Arnak and stuff. These are all evolutions of this one game. But I think the game is really awesome. I like playing with Jacoby a lot. I like watching him try to work his way through and figure games out. That's really enjoyable to me. So that probably added a lot to it for me also. But I have a soft spot for Dominion, so that's mine.
I still have Dominion. You know, I bought it early on, right when it was the thing, and then I also got Intrigue because it added some, you know, sort of in your face cards, curses and things like that. I think we're in the Intrigue set. I can't remember what's from what set now, actually. Anyway, yeah. Because
I always like Prosperity. Prosperity's awesome. That was the one that
I
just kind of explodes all the money and stuff. Like he's just making huge purchases and things like that. So.
I stopped. I mean, I think I may have gotten Dominion Intrigue actually because it added a 5th or 6th player at the time, right? And so I got those two, and I just stopped. I was like, I'm not getting 700 things for Dominion. Like, I don't play this that much, and this is fun. I'm just going to keep this. And I just have the base game box with a few things in there. I think I have one promo card, the Black Market, which is sort of cool to mix in all the other cards, you know, but like, that's it. You know, I didn't hunt down all the promos. I didn't get a million expansions, and it's a good game. Like I keep the classics, right? I keep Dominion. I keep El Grande. I keep Carcassonne, right? Like there's nothing wrong with just a distilled experience every now and then.
Yeah. Plus it's almost better that way anyway, because if you keep it tight, that stuff works together. Like, you know, we got to the point where, all right, I had like 4 or 5 of them, and one of my roommates back in the day got 2 of the expansions himself because he liked the game that much. So we had like everything. And then if you did like a randomizer and stuff, nothing worked together. Like this one card was doing its own thing, and this over here had something to do with something going on off the board, and it just didn't work together. You know, I mean, I'm sure you could probably research it and people will be like, well, you play this set and this set and this set and this set, and this is how you. Yeah, but you know what? It's really nice to just be able to kind of randomize things and it still works well together. You know, so I agree. This is almost like going back to my previous rant about just too much stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave it at that before we go off the rails here. So. But anyway,
I did put a chapter in that video, Erock's rant. And I don't know if you noticed. In case anybody wanted to, skip it. You know.
Or skip right to it.
Skip right to it, of course. Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry, yes. All right, cool. All right, one more. Tiffany, what have you got for us?
All right, so I should go with my second favorite game I played this month. My second favorite game of all time I played this month, and I should go with that one. But I'm not going to because it's a little easy. So instead, I also played half a game of this, and the half that I played was really fun, and I wished a lot that I could finish the game. It was Merchants of the Dark Road. I feel like we just got this in the mail, right?
The new Kickstarter hotness.
It's not that old, yes, right.
Okay, so we had just gotten it, busted it out. It's super cool. I love the components. The little wagons that you keep all your resources in are really nice, thick, like double. There's like a double inset in the piece to store all your components.
We do have the upgraded version, of course.
Gotcha. Yeah, awesome. Should say that.
So,
yeah.
I don't think we know enough about it to say whether the retail has some
The
of
same.
that stuff. It might have
Yeah.
like the double layered player boards, but I'm sure it doesn't have like the fancy little resin
Lanterns and stuff.
the
Yeah.
little metal horseshoes and things like that, which are just awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Dave.
No, it's all right. So we got back to the table. It was super cool. Dave described it as a more, we'll say, complex pick up and deliver game. And it's got a couple of different things. Like it's got like a rondelle type thing in the middle where you're going around and you're accessing based on where you stop, one of two locations. And I think there's 5 total places to stop in a circle. You can like buy helpers that help you with stuff there. You can go to a place and buy the orders that you're going to later deliver later in the game. You probably have you have a secret objective card where you're scoring bonus points for different things, but they could be super different. So, you never know. Yours could be to go into the cities and make all these deliveries, which that's what mine was when I played. But I saw some other ones that were completely unrelated to making deliveries.
Yeah,
so,
vastly different. All of them are
Yeah.
completely different things going on there.
So that
To
was
be
pretty
fair,
cool.
we had tickets to the Paranormal Circus, so we just kind of had to stop in the middle to go to the Paranormal Circus, which was a lot of fun. Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. It was kind of a last minute decision. Like we saw it the night before while we were driving down a dark road, and I was like, Paranormal Circus, we have to go. So we invited some people over, and then after we invited someone over to come play, we were like, let's research the Paranormal Circus. Turns out it was only in town for one more night. So
right.
no.
So it was kind of like, well, I guess we're going tonight then. So
Yeah. So I will get back to Merchants of the Dark Road. I will finish playing it. But it was a lot of fun for me. It was pretty simple to pick up. Super pretty on the table, which is a big thing for me.
It's super pretty on the table. I absolutely agree with that.
Were you playing 2 players?
No, we actually had a couple of friends over.
Okay.
So, well,
Just
I guess
one.
we only had one. And Jacoby played Dominion with us, and then we played this. So yeah, we played it three-way.
Okay, because there's like some negotiation whether somebody wants to go on the path with you to help you on the dark road, right? And I didn't know how that would work with 2 players, but with 3, I guess it would
Basically the same. I mean,
It doesn't really help you or hurt you that much.
I don't want to turn this into a
mean-
review because, as she said, we only played half of the game. But to me, it felt a little convoluted. Now, one of the reasons was probably because we played one of the rules wrong for a couple of rounds until I caught that, and it kind of really extended the gameplay. But yeah, that's how that works. Somebody goes to the place on the rondelle where they can take deliveries out to the rest of the towns, and then anybody can go with them. You just need to, there's kind of little territories where there's like 2 cities green, 2 cities purple, 2 cities blue. And if you go to either of the green, I can go with you and deliver to either of those greens. Know what I'm saying? Or the purple or the blue or whatever. So that kind of adds a little bit because the game kind of flows pretty quickly, give or take. And then somebody says, all right, I'm going to go on a journey. And then everything just kind of slows down for a minute because now you got to decide, am I going to go with them? And you kind of go around the table and do this thing. And then there's like the journey itself. And you roll dice for that to see the rewards or the penalties as far as it goes. And then everybody can deliver. I did a lot of thinking about that mechanism. I think the way the game runs, they would have had to have made the game a lot longer if you couldn't go with other people. Because you don't get a whole lot of stuff. Like, that's a whole turn, basically. Like, that's your turn. Your turn this turn is I'm going to deliver stuff. And, like, it just seems like if I had to do that myself, it would take me almost the whole game just to get enough stuff to make it worth my while to go out and deliver. So it makes it a whole lot more viable to gather stuff, and then I'll go along with him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's hard to describe. Again, I like the game. I thought it was really pretty. We only played half a game. I just feel like some parts of it were a little convoluted. And just as another, for instance, so like the items, they're on this wheel, right?
You already picked a game, right?
But it moves. Yes, I do. All right. So like the market has this like magnetic wheel and all the stuff's on there, but you can turn the wheel. So that changes the value of everything, which is kind of weird. Because, like, I paid $5 for this thing. Now it's worth $1 because 2 people changed the wheel on me. So, I mean, I don't know.
There's a lot of economic games that do that. But, this game, I was sort of on the fence because it's a beautiful production and I really like the publisher and it's got some interesting things going on, but I wasn't sure it was the right kind of game for me. And then I've seen some reviews that, think it's great and some that are, not so great. And so this is just gone on my, I got to play this at a convention list, so probably Dice Tower East. Yeah. That, or my friends could invite me over. You guys didn't invite me over to play Dominion and Merchants of the Dark Road.
or the Paranormal Circus. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we're gone now. Sorry.
Well, we will get together and play this game someday, and then we can review it.
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
So, is it just me, or are we going farther back in time? Like this
Merchants of the Dark Road is like.
I know, he's like the shining star because I'm like Dominion, you're Kingsburg. He's like Rummy Cube, Qwirkle or whatever. It's like next week we'll be talking about checkers and chess. What's the best thing I played this week? Let's go.
I mean, I literally just did my, one of my top 100 game videos that had chess in it, so I'm already back there, right? What?
What number was it?
Right? 57?
57, yeah.
You can watch if you want to know.
Yeah, watch my videos. Come on, man.
But I can memorize them.
But, like I said in that other video about, and this was true of Glenmore, right? Like Glenmore 2 came out. It was the new hotness. Everybody was dumping Glenmore, so I got it cheap. People weren't playing Paper Tales anymore, so I got it cheap. Kingsburg I got on this exchange table. Like, there's so many games out there, so many good classic games, and I just haven't played them, and they're cheap. So that's great. This new, $150 Kickstarter, or I could get this proven classic for $10.
Yeah, it's a really good time to be in the hobby. You can get a lot of good stuff for not a ton of money. You can get some really nice stuff for a ton of money. So, kind of whatever you want to do there.
Pick your poison.
Yeah. And that concludes Steven's rant. So that's Tiffany. That's Lloyd. That's E-Rock. We're from Just Got Played. Thanks, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a comment or hit the like button. It really does help us out. If you have suggestions for future videos, let us know in the comments as well, and then subscribe to see what we come up with next.